In his most unhinged tweet that I've ever seen, Donald Trump tweeted the following: "Cease and desist. I, together with many attorneys and legal scholars, am watching the sanctity of the 2024 presidential election very closely because I know, better than most, the rampant cheating and skullduggery that has taken place by the Democrats in the 2020 presidential election. It was a disgrace to our nation. Therefore, the 2024 election, where votes have just started being cast, will be under the closest professional scrutiny. And when I win, those people that cheated will be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law, which will include long-term prison sentences, so that this depravity of justice does not happen again. We cannot let our country further devolve into a third world nation, and we won't. Please beware that this legal exposure extends to lawyers, political operatives, donors, illegal voters, and corrupt election officials. Those involved in unscrupulous behavior will be sought out, caught, and prosecuted at levels, unfortunately, never seen before in our country." There is so much to unpackage here that a candidate for the president of the United States that lost in 2020, completely lost the popular vote and the electoral college vote, took it to court, had Rudy Giuliani giving unhinged press conferences with hair dye running down his face at the Four Seasons Total Landscaping, had some crazy-ass Kraken lawyer. All these people, when they get in front of judges, admit, no, we know we lost. So not only is this gaslighting, this is authoritarian language. This is a play right out of Hitler's playbook or any authoritarian's playbook. And there's so many terrifying accusations in here that he would act upon. And he will do it. If one thing that we've learned about Trump, when he tells you what he will do and he tells you who he is, believe him.
What is so ironic to me in all of these things that he says, he knows he lost. He admitted in an interview last week with Sean Hannity. He knows he lost. But yet he's making the issue about stealing the election and election integrity. Just a couple things on that. Illegal immigrants are not allowed to vote. So all this hoopla about that is unnecessary. His campaign is putting more money into election watchers and election patrol people. He's telling cops to be at voting places because he knows he can't win with the popular vote because he's lost 2 times already. The fact that he would sit and say, oh, the election is going to have irregularities. He's the one that started irregularities in elections.
But I think what's more insidious here is he's saying that he will imprison and jail donors to his opponent. This is incredibly dangerous. It is so incredibly dangerous because he's a very unserious person that wants to do very serious authoritarian things. Everybody knows illegal immigrants can't vote, that's a thing on Fox News. The claims that he's making in here about we cannot let our country devolve into a third world nation. And then he goes on to say he will jail and imprison operatives, donors, corrupt election officials. That is third world stuff. Mm-hmm. He is the signaling that he is doing here and that he will be prosecuting people at levels never seen before in our country is taking the Constitution, putting it in a paper shredder, and then putting his orange makeup on top of it. I mean, this guy, we've never had this type of language at the top of the presidential ticket in the history of our country, ever. And what's so alarming to me about this is, again, I say this all the time, Trump's crazy. These people that vote for him, and Barack Obama had it right, and they all melted down when he said this. They cling to guns and religion. And you have people now that he has slowly started lying, and then he's putting all of this language in. It started with Hillary Clinton, lock her up. Now it's escalating to this. These people now are saying, we need an authoritarian leader. He's moved the goalposts so much that this is not disqualifying. And I am getting terrified right now because the polls are starting to tighten up. They're really tightening up. And I'm terrified that a lot of people that look like us are in our socioeconomic group are going to, because he lies so much, the lies don't mean anything anymore. They'll say, yeah, I know. I just, he's a nut. I agree with all that. I just like his policies.
That is the most irritating and maddening thing when people say that. His policies are racism, homophobia. It's just sexism, misogyny. But in terms of rounding up donors, unless there is a huge electoral mandate for Democrats, he has placed, for example, in Georgia, an election board that can indefinitely hold up the results of the election. He is the one cheating on elections. And to say that somebody who donates $50 to a presidential candidate that's not him could go to jail, that is the most insane, unhinged, anti-democratic thing I have ever heard. And let's not forget, this is the same person who is a convicted felon. He has no credibility. He lies so much, he has no credibility.
You and I see that. Millions of Americans see that. There is a cancer and an inherent problem where millions of Americans, millions, they're only polling 2 percentage points apart from one another. And these same people have a problem with estrogen, melanin, and he speaks to the worst parts of this country, this Puritan-based binary choice, patriarchal roles that they are clinging on to, or as again, Obama said, they cling on to guns and religion. And it's terrifying to think that mega donors or small-time donors or attorneys that work to secure free and fair elections. Don't think for a second all of these Republicans that have come out and endorsed Kamala Harris, of which there are hundreds, if not over 1,000, many who worked directly for Donald Trump. The past 2 Republican vice presidents have endorsed Kamala Harris. He will, without question, prosecute them. When we recently had our little had it or hit it with former President Barack Obama, I saw in the comments section, can't wait for your tribunal. So when he says it will be the likes of which this country has never seen, we have to believe him. And this is right, all specifically written in Project 2025, where they talk about doing a huge purge of the federal government and placing only Trump loyalists. Well, who are these people that remain as Trumpers? These are people who lean towards authoritarianism. And quite frankly, these are very broken, dysfunctional people, of which we've discovered now there are millions in this country. And so there's the immediate need to make the case for democracy and help people get past their inherent biases for estrogen and melanin that a presidential candidate has, because Kamala Harris is highly qualified to do this job. When she goes out on the campaign trail with Governor Tim Walz, they speak about solutions for the American people. Goldman Sachs has basically endorsed her and said it would be an economic boon. Mark Cuban said her policies towards entrepreneurship are off the chain, will really be helpful for the economy. She has childcare solutions. She has healthcare solutions, infrastructure solutions, and on and on. This is his platform. This is what he's going for. So there's still this myth that exists in, quite frankly, a lot of white America, where they believe that Republicans and Donald Trump, they say publicly, oh, I just like his economic policies. Well, his economic policies are awful. His whole idea of tariffs will completely tank the economy, which he's done before, which every other Republican president before him has done. But it's terrifying, the escalation of this kind of language. And what I'm seeing in the polls as a reflection of this is he's getting closer to her.
What's interesting, I read a data point this weekend that 40 and under males go for Donald Trump by 13 points because they feel that the patriarchy is no longer serving them. That's not the exact verbiage, but that men are being overlooked, women are more educated, they're making more money. He is leaning in to the most basic form of sexism and misogyny that is you've ever seen. I mean, he's not even disguising it. And then Kamala Harris, 53% of women under 40 go for Kamala Harris. So you've got the, oh, you're poor baby, you're a victim because you don't get what you want because you're a white male as much as you used to. There's more competition. And then you have women just wanting autonomy over their own bodies, just wanting to be equal. So the divide between sexes and the divide between democracy and authoritarianism, it could not be more stark. And I'm with you. How could the polls be this close?
Well, I think that what you have is you have these men that feel like they're persecuted. Mm-hmm. You have all these Christians that say, oh, we're being persecuted. And they're basically it's the same play out of the same playbook. We're being persecuted. But then they turn around and use those positions to persecute others. No, I won't bake your cake because you're gay. And so you have these institutions that, quite frankly, have not served America very well in the modern era. You have organized religion, which has been really a cluster. It's turned into this for-profit machine. I think it's primed a lot of these Trump voters to go in and believe all this cockamamie, hellfire damnation. We're going to jail everybody, this very punitive form of government. Not all Christians, so don't go bananas in the comment section, but they're a huge segment of evangelical Christianity and organized religion has primed these people, primed them perfectly for an authoritarian leader. And then the same thing with the patriarchy. Oh, men are under attack. If you watch Fox News, Jesse Waters acts like, a man that uses a straw, or that somehow Tim Walz isn't masculine enough. Jesse Waters is the prissiest priss I've ever seen in my entire life. I mean, he's up there, he dyes his hair, which I don't give a shit about. Right. We saw him at the DNC sashaying down the hallway, and it's just this bullshit masculinity, this bullshit Christians are being persecuted. This is a Christian nation. And it's not. It's a free society. We're striving for it to be free. I'm not religious. I don't want any of that religious crap in my government. I don't think it serves women well. I don't think it serves minorities well. I don't think it serves the LGBTQ plus community well, because it's always those people that are getting squished down by the patriarchy and religions as a whole.
It really is. Like, we've talked about this so much, about how religion has primed these people to believe it. And what's so interesting about it is Donald Trump is an evangelical preacher. He's punitive. He's loud. Grifter. And the grift. Like, he puts Joel Osteen to shame in the grift department. I've never seen grifting like this.
Can you imagine if Kamala Harris, Michelle Obama, Barack Obama, Bill Clinton, or Hillary Clinton released digital trading cards that had images of them that were photoshopped?
Right.
And his supporters are such low information, basket of deplorables. Hillary Clinton was spot on with that they buy these and then they keep waiting for them to arrive in the mail, not knowing that they're digital. I mean, that's what we're dealing with here. And here's what's so scary about it. There are millions of them.
Yes.
Millions of them. Jesse Waters, Sean Hannity, the Fox 5, everybody at Newsmax they would be gyrating with excitement if Michelle or Barack Obama released digital trading cards. What is he, a fucking baseball player? I mean, it's so stupid. He's a candidate at the top of the ticket for the United States of America, who right now the polls are tightening. And I cannot, we live in a red state, so I understand. I know that these people are freebasing Fox News.
Right.
Their algorithm is curated for them to think that, immigrants are coming for them, despite them living in the suburbs in a gated community with zero crime anywhere in a 10-mile radius around them. And basically, the policies that would help everyone are on the Harris-Walz ticket. And the policies that will destroy the lives of so many millions of Americans, including us. I mean, we've been pretty loudmouth podcasters. I've sent money to Kamala. I've sent money to Joe Biden. You know, these are your policies. And so it's like we knew. I knew when he won. And so did millions of American women when you saw the Women's March. Millions. We knew they were coming for Roe because we watch and listen to the facts. And what happened? They came for Roe. And right now he's saying all of this crap. And I know that if he wins, we saw how bloody January 6th is. We know what they're capable of. We know the rage and the unhinged mentality that these people have. I know that what he's saying is true. I know it's going to be bracelets for Obama, bracelets for Hillary, bracelets for mega donors that hurt his feelings. You know, probably throw, you know, weird petty grievances that he has in there. He'd come after people, and he's going to incarcerate people without probably due process, because that's basically what this is saying.
Right. He's the judge, jury, and executioner, and he's going to consolidate the federal government under Project 2025 so that he has that power.
All right. That's all we have for today. Please like and subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts or right here on YouTube, and we will see you guys tomorrow.
It's so entertaining. Tap the vein. So